I ran out of my expensive beauty firming cream. So literally what I did was I took the eye cream version of this and I just put it all over my fucking face.
And my sleepiness is due to this puppy. Oh, my puppy
Oh.
blues.
Oh, puppy blues.
He's so cute, though. He's the cutest.
Is he sleeping in your bed?
No, he's sleeping in
You
a
crate
kennel.
Okay.
Like a little
Got it.
carrier. At first, we had him in a bigger crate that we had the other pups in. And now that we moved him into this, it's been so much better. I'm sleeping. And it's like, oh,
good. Oh, good. He'll get acclimated. I bet the kids
he'll
love
get
him.
there. Yeah.
I bet the kids love
And
him.
Katie, she's obsessed with him. But yes, I'm not getting much sleep.
Hey, you want to watch some TV or something?
Skip it. Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Nothing but foul language and toilet humor.
I'm disgusted and repulsed and I can't look away.
I need these things! I need these things! Tell me, do you want to go? We're stopping on the color line. Oh, no way, Jose.
This just in, go to hell!
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Hello, friends and listeners. You got a new episode of Watch Skip Plus. We are a movie review podcast. I am Jose, also known as Cupcake. And by the way, I love Paul Dano. I don't care what people say. And I'm joined by my co-host, Mike, also known as the Wildebeest. Mike, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so like weirded out. It's like, in one end, I love Tarantino. I just saw the Kill Bill like big bloody fair, and I love it.
I'm going
so
today.
much.
I'm going today.
I'm so
I
happy
can't
for
wait.
you, and I loved it. Oh, I hate saying just shut the fuck up and do your film, but he needs to, because he just, buddy, please leave these fucking actors alone. You're ripping on two very, very talented, very good actors, and they're a much better actor than you. Period.
Ding dong, QT.
Point blank.
Exhibit A from Dusk Till Dawn in your episode on Alias, although he was actually pretty good on Alias, I will say this. But anyway, Quentin Tarantino's opinions about Hollywood and the way things work, et cetera, like he's 92% right and spot on. Great. But you know what? Don't sully someone else's skill or game just because you think they were the weak link. And I think this particular movie review that we're going to do right now, I think it's going to test our skills as film reviewers, because I think that the movie that we saw this week is not really meant for us. Almost like what we encountered with Minecraft in some ways. So at any rate, what are we reviewing? Speaking of rejection.
Speaking of actors that get a bad rap, Hutcherson, we are reviewing Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
The storied sequel. Haha. Man, let me just say, so many kids. I thought a Disney movie opened. Actually, a Disney movie did open, but there were so many kids in my theater for this film. So let's just hop right into Above and Below the Line, and we'll get to spoiler-free thoughts. So this is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is the sequel to the 2023 original Five Nights at Freddy's. This is released by Universal and Blumhouse. Blumhouse, baby. What's going on? This year has been troubled for them. You and I liked Drop, okay? That's now on streaming. Everybody check out our episode on Drop, because it was really skillful and very well written. Bomb. Woman in the Yard. Bomb. Megan 2. I loved it. It was crazy and off the rails. Bomb. Black Phone 2.
It didn't bomb. It made money.
It made money, but it was a poopy movie.
It was not. I liked Black Phone. Don't listen to him.
To me. Blah, blah. And then apparently there has been some success with this Apple TV, The Lost Bus. Have you seen this?
I haven't, but I've heard good things. I almost
It looks like
once.
Speed. It looks like Speed meets Friday the 13th. I don't know. Matthew
it's
McConaughey
like a
is
true
behind a
life.
bus, or yeah. Although, wasn't there an Australian movie about like Rachel Ward was in it. It was a bus full of kids that ended up getting kidnapped in the desert, and then they went all Lord of the Flies. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll drop it in the caption, folks. Okay. So pretty much everybody that did part 1 is back.
Yeah. And we reviewed part 1, so you can go back and watch that one to get the details. We
did a huge deep dive on that. Just really quickly, Emma Tammy, Connecticut-born, New York raised. She interned for Robert Altman. I wonder what happened. Anyway, I guess I'm kidding.
No, I'm going to defend her. I'm going to defend her here.
So I was just about to say, she debuted at Sundance 2017, The Wind, a sort of like supernatural Western thriller. Prior to that, she'd done well-received documentaries. This is written by Scott Cawthorn. So the first film was actually written by a number of people, including the director. Cawthorn created the video games, and get this, folks. He created the Five Nights at Freddy's games because he was not finding success with Christian-based, family-friendly video games. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm sure that there's a market for that, folks, okay? But even he realized, I can't make a living off of this. So what does he do? He creates a horror video game based on cuddly teddy bears and bunnies.
But still very much aimed at kids. That's not
But still aimed at
gory
kids, exactly.
Or bloody.
Or bloody. So it's his baby, 7 games, 4 spin-off games, stories, novels, screenplays. Largely, Cawthorn stepped away from video game development in 2021. After it was revealed he made all these political donations to the Republican Party. Surprise. Our DP is Lynn Moncrief. It's a man, baby. He's worked with Tammy on The Wind. Shout out to his work, though. He shot the fuck out of BJ Novak's Vengeance and Carter Smith's The Passenger, which is also streaming. If you've not seen it, Kyle Gallner, fantastic in this film. I adore Carter Smith, by the way. Shout out. He has sort of like an adult photography project called All the Dead Boys. It's really hot. Anyway, our music is by the Newton Brothers. Let's dive into our cast. You talked about Josh Hutcherson. Why do you think he's misunderstood? Just because he was Peter Malark in the Hunger Games?
Yeah, I think a lot of the younger folks think that because he was in some big franchises that he gets a pass. I hear it from my kids and younger folks that they don't think he can act. So I
think he can act. So, I mean, listen, he started as a kid actor, Zathura, Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah, he's so good in all those.
But then indie films like The Kids Are All Right, he actually showed some range. Please, young viewers, listeners, whoever, if you want to learn about how Josh Hutcherson is pretty fabulous, check out Joseph Kahn's Detention.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. I will also front Mike Gann's Burn, B-U-R-N, with Suki Waterhouse or whatever. Josh is really actually kind of threatening, which is a new turn for him. There's also a really weird reverse rape scene that you have to see. But he's currently on HBO's I Love L.A. That's the Rachel Sennett series. He was the dubbed voice for Ultraman in for the English dub cartoon anime. Sorry, and then recently in Beekeeper and Long Gone Heroes. Anything else to say about Josh other than the fact that I'm waiting for his marriage proposal because I'm telling you, I would kick all the hot-looking men in Hollywood in the face to marry Josh Hutcherson. He's a perfect man to me.
I like him.
Anything else?
I like him. I think he needs to maybe kick his management. They need to pick better films for him that are going to actually highlight his ability. I think he's great in drama. I think he's great in romance. But he keeps getting these kind of like genre-y things that maybe he's not the best. I think he's fun in Beekeeper, and I'm going to defend that role, but I know people think he's kind of
yet another kind of sinister douchebag.
Yeah, he's just a douche, and I think that was kind of fun. Him
when he gets his comeuppance, I was like, oh well, but you deserved it, fucker.
I like him.
Yeah, I love him too. I just Josh, marry me, please. Elizabeth Lael, many will know her as Beck from You, the Netflix series. Yeah. Recently, Gonzo Girl, Patricia Arquette's debut film, I think.
My wife worked on that. She was the accountant on it, and it was a hot mess.
I love Patricia. Oh, was it? Okay.
Well, it's filmed like 3 or 4 years ago, and it still hasn't seen the light of day because it reportedly was.
Didn't it get released? Oh, I thought it got released. Anyway,
maybe it went direct. I mean, maybe, but I didn't get theatrical release that I've seen.
Yeah, Lael was also in the horror film Countdown, which was kind of miserable. Anyway, Piper Rubio, she plays the sister here. Not a lot of movie work, mainly TV for All Mankind, voiceover work. We've got some newcomers to this franchise. We've got Frederick James Carter in an undisclosed role, which we will talk about in the spoiler section, I guess. He's from Shadow and Bone, Netflix, the comedy horror American Carnage, which I haven't pressed play on. Do you know anything about Frederick Carter other than the fact that he looks creepy as fuck in this movie?
Creepy. He looks like he could be like Steve Buscemi's
yes,
kid.
he could.
Yeah, it's kind of a creep effect.
Mixed with kind of like a sinister congressman pedo.
Mixed with Chuck Lorre or something.
Just something.
He had a creepy vibe to him, and I've never seen him in anything before. And I actually thought he was pretty good in this, honestly.
Yeah, he reminded me of David Dastmalchian.
Yeah,
Speaking of totally. Pale, creepy, but kind of sexy. Okay. McKenna Grace. I'm getting a weird Emma Watson kind of thing because she was always a child actress, but now she's growing up into this beautiful woman, and I don't know how I feel about this. But McKenna Grace, she pretty much made a career off of playing the young versions of very attractive actresses. So young Tanya Harding in I, Tanya, young Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel, young Madison Lake in Malignant, young Daphne in Scoob. Actually, she did the voice for that. So not only does she have the connection with Matthew Lillard, who we'll get to, she is going to be in Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping. So now she's got that connection with Josh Hutcherson.
Well, did you hear that she was a super fan, and back when she was a kid, she did supercut edits of PETA? And somebody pointed that out in an interview and totally embarrassed her. And then PETA came up and hugged her, and you could see her turn bright red. He was like,
You snazzy little reporter guy for saying that.
It was a great moment, and he went viral for it, so good for him.
Yeah, but Josh went viral for kissing Jordan Firstman on the red carpet for I Love L.A., and I was just like, do I have a chance? Anyway, Tio Briones, Filipino actor, young guy, Chucky the series. We talked about him in Final Destination Bloodlines. Skeet Ulrich, Scream, The Craft. He was in Riverdale. He's worked with Paul Schrader on The Touch. We love Skeet Ulrich. He's here. He and Lillard call themselves the first husbands of horror.
I love it.
Not to spoil an age-old franchise, folks, but they were the killers, Lillard and Skeet in Scream, the original.
And every time they're together, they're like the original Olivia and little girl from The Wicked. They like hugging, kissing, holding each other.
They love each other.
They love each other, and they're physical as hell on each other. It's like they're
the Ariana and Cynthia.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Absolutely. You also see Wayne Knight here, who has lost a lot of weight. Many will know him. Comedic actor. He does look good. Comedic actor. Seinfeld, probably best known for the awful Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park.
Gets killed.
He was trying to smuggle out the stuff, and then the Dilophosaurus.
That's what you're going to pull this. You're going to pull this for the.
Yeah, exactly. But also, many may remember him. He had a really great role in Punisher Warzone, which is one of my favorite fucking Marvel movies ever. Also, he led the infamous interrogation scene in Basic Instinct, where Sharon Stone uncrosses her legs and Wayne Knight starts sweating and like drinking water after he sees her vag. Oh, it's great. And then we've been dancing around him. Matthew Lillard, obviously young actor. I know him from Baltimore. He was in Serial Mom. Sorry. I know him as a young actor from Serial Mom, which was filmed in Baltimore, Hackers, SLC Punk. I don't think people talk about that movie. I love it. She's All That.
There's our connection. Matthew Lillard's our connection, a Baltimore and Salt Lake connection.
And Salt Lake City. Here's the other thing, though. I refuse to take Matthew Lillard seriously, and I think this is a meta casting that they did for Scream, because all I think about is that scene in She's All That. Do you remember that, where he shows up at the party and he's like, give it to me, and he's doing like the dancing or whatever? It's so cringe, but that is the only thing I think of. Let's be clear, he's done dramatic roles, The Descendants, Trouble with the Curve. He was on NBC's Good Girls. He's kind of having a resurgence. He ended up in The Life of Chuck. So I don't know. Kudos to Matthew Lillard. Keep going. I love watching that guy in action. I still can't take him seriously, though. I really can't.
Yeah. This cast is stacked. Like, I had a blast just watching the cast like pop up and do their little thing. I wish they were given better dialogue to work with, but we'll get there.
I wish they were given better material. Oh, and so we're going to go into our spoiler-free thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the sequel to the wildly popular video game. Although the concession girl was like, I don't want to see that. I played that game in middle school, and I was just like, oh, my God. Oh, spoiler-free thoughts. Here we go. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to say two things. One, you and I encountered this with Minecraft, which created the oft-repeated phrase on Watch Skip Plus, in addition to not entirely successful. The other phrase is, this wasn't made for me.
For us.
My theater was full of kids. They're kids who are nostalgic for this game. I have never played the game. And this brings me to the second point of being a movie reviewer and watching a film like this, especially when it's not made for you. My job as a movie reviewer is to review the movie itself. This comes up when we talk about adaptations of, beloved novels or works of literature, as well as adaptations of comic books. And my job as a movie reviewer is to look at what's presented to me. Did they build the story for somebody not familiar with the material, which I am? And by the way, Emma Tammy said she had never played any of the video games or had any familiarity with it before stepping on to direct these two movies. But I mention this because me and a young usher, Jason, who we love over at Regal, he was like, well, but it's closer to the video game, and there's this, and they're making an effort to go back into the lore and set up a whole series and movies. And I'm like, but the movie was terrible. This is what film criticism is. Let's not get into our feelings. I'm not familiar with the video game. I know it's really, really well loved. Drop comments. Let's have a conversation about this, because this movie was bad. And not only that, it committed the biggest sin you can for a horror film, regardless of whether it's PG-13, if it's geared towards kids, whatever. The biggest sin is being boring. And this movie was so boring. Oh my God. I was waiting for it to kick up. It never did. And, I think it's even a bigger sin, because if you're gearing it towards kids, kids don't have an attention span, okay? And if you're going to make a boring fucking kids horror film, look at Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, all right? That was jam-packed with stuff. It was moving, and that's a great kids horror film. This one, boring and terrible. Other things that really hit me coming from this movie, one, it's just the first movie all over again. It really is, kids. They even bring back the taxi driver from the first movie in this film again. And so I was like, wait a minute. This is just flipping to a different character and her trauma. I know. Oh my God.
I was like, these are made by the same studio, right? Are both Blumhouse?
They're both Blumhouse. And you know what?
Yeah, they were robbing from each other, man.
They were fucking asleep at the wheel. Hey, this worked for Black Film. Let's just do it with Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm so angry. And let's not even talk about some of the preposterous rule breaking that happens when they set this up. It's awful. I have some comps for this film. I'm almost hesitant to mention them, but I'm going to go ahead and mention them anyway. This feels a lot like The Grudge 2 and The Ring 2, actually, both of those films. And it was like, oh, both of those first films were so great and scary. And both sequels, The Ring 2 and The Grudge 2, was just like circular nonsense. And clearly, they're stealing from Jurassic Park. There is a lot in this movie that feels very close to Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some jump scares that are exactly like a raptor scare, dude, right out of that book. It was like
right out of fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's a mess. The actors are doing the best that they can do. I think Hutcherson gets lost in this because there is now a focus on Elizabeth Lale's character.
He has nothing to do. He spins around like a non-playable character. He has nothing.
Yeah, what is it called? NPC. Yeah, exactly. A non-player character. And it's like, what are you doing? You're marginalizing the star, basically, right?
Yeah.
But and then characters waltz in and out, and then they seemingly become part of a broader story, which I'm sure is set for the sequels, but I just didn't care. I really hated this movie. Did not like it at all. There is a mid-credits sequence, and then if you wait for the credits, there is a voiceover recording, which I hear is from the game, but it sets up the sequel. Yeah, it's a huge skip for me. And quite frankly, I hope we're still doing this podcast when part 3 comes out, because I'm pretty sure you're going to make me go and see it.
Me? My kids make me see these.
Oh, I guess. I kind of didn't have an interest in this one, but I think for the sake of, sequels or what have you, huge skip for me, actually. I was so bored. What do you think?
I got to ask you questions first because we're role
Do it.
reversal.
Yes. Here we go.
So,
Yes.
how do you compare this to the first film?
So I went back and watched the first film. I can't remember what my thoughts were on the first one. It might have been like a soft watch or like a marginal skip or something. But when I went back and watched
soft skip, I think is what you were.
Soft skip. Okay. When I went back and watched the first one, I was like, I fucking hate this movie. It's so silly, and it took itself way too seriously for the source material. And it didn't work. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street, or I think you called it Baby's First Saw, or whatever. And it was lame. I can't believe I dropped $8 on that Blu-ray, because I'll probably never watch it again.
It's not good. Yeah, I feel the same way as you about the first. So do you feel like the first is worse, or this is worse than the first, or both equally?
This is much worse than the first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I saw what they were trying to weave with the first one, but just like the first one, this film tosses out all of these ideas, some of them connected to the first one, but they don't really explain it, and characters just do it. Like the whole connect with your trauma through dreams. Like it was literally just he explains it to his security guard friend in the first film. And then in this film, he's like, you should try what I'm doing. And then she tries.
And he's like, I'm better now because I do this in my dreams. And that was basically, he just came in to be an asshole. All of a sudden his character arc turned, and he just came in and was a total ununderstanding dick to her.
He was trying to move on. You know what I mean? But
she was so patient with his shit in the first film. She's going through the same shit that he's going through, and his mind's like, well, why didn't you go through it the same time I did? It's kind of makes him seem like a dick, right? But
actually, I hate to say it, but that was one of the big questions in my mind. I was like, you're just processing this now? Like, come on. And that was my big complaint with the first one. When there was the reveal about her, I was like, oh, so all it took was a hot butt from Kentucky to make you change your mind about what your dad was doing.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll dive in. This movie is a mess because of Scott Cawthon. He should not have written this entire thing. I actually think this is a slightly better film than the first one, because the first one is a tonal mess. You get Saw Jr. turns into a kiddie movie, then goes back to being Scream at the end. It's too tonally messy, and it's slow as tar. And as much as you said this is like Ring 2, the first one wants to be like The Ring. So I went into this expecting to just want to destroy this thing. And then my kid Eddie, he went to it, and he came back Thursday night and was like, oh my gosh, that was the biggest pile of shit. And so I'm like, I'm ready to pull out the boxing gloves and just hate this thing. And I kind of had a blast with watching it.
Really?
It's not a good movie, but I saw the opposite.
Oh my God.
I was surrounded by kids who were fucking glued. They didn't move. My kid was so zombified by this. The other kids in the screening zombified. Me and my 16-year-old, we were bored. But the little kids, dude, they were obsessed. Like the 8 to 15-year-olds, this is great. It is fun to watch them get scared. It's fun to watch them like jump and laugh. And it's like baby's first jump scare. Whereas the other one was like, and even my son said it, he's like, the other one's like bloodless gore. This one is like jump scare fun. And I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. And so he enjoyed the difference of it. So my 8-year-old wants me to make sure that everyone who is his age should go see the movie because it is perfect. And if you like the video games or you've seen the other people who've done the playthroughs like he has, you're going to love it. I have grown up with all of my kids pretty much, except for my oldest daughter, playing this game. So I have a tiny bit of nostalgia, and I have sat down and tried to play it. So there are moments in this when they do actually show the gameplay, which is sitting in an office when Josh is sitting there in the office and flashing a light, because that's what you do. You flash the light on them and they stop. And then mask, when they pull the mask out, that's directly from the game. And I remember my kids from the first time I was playing it, they're like, grab that mask, put it on your face. And then I did. And then it does the same thing as it did on that. And boom, the bad guys go away. It's fun to watch other people play it. And it's one of the rarities that I enjoyed watching YouTubers play with my kids. So it's fun from that aspect. And it is more like the game. And it is more entertaining, I felt, as someone who doesn't really play the games. And I see why younger folks think it's a blast, because it is not as boring as the first film. I thought the first film is horrendously boring. This kept me entertained. It's, I think, is it shorter? It felt shorter, maybe a few minutes shorter.
It's an hour and 44.
It feels much more tighter. You don't have the weird tonal jumps. It stays tonally consistent for what it is. I love how you said The Grudge 2. It's very much like The Grudge 2 or The Ring 2. It's jump scare heavy with more effects, like how the Ring 2 had all those CGI animals jumping on the car. This has a lot more cheesy effects as well, and it goes more for camp, which Ring 2 also went more for camp. So it feels a little bit more campy. If you are going to be seeing this with your kids, it's not that bad, but it's not good. Right. It's not a good film. And it's not one I can recommend people who don't have kids or have never played the video game to watch. There's a lot worse shit you could be dragged to see in the theaters as a father. I'm going to say that straight up. And as a father who likes horror movies, it kind of reignited Connor's love for horror, because during this October, he kind of took a step back. He felt a little too scared by things. So this made him feel brave, and he liked this better. When we watched the first one, the scene where the 3 people go into the house and they get killed in kind of brutal ways, even though it's kind of off camera, that really disturbed him. But there's nothing quite like that in this.
How about the babysitter getting eaten in half?
Yeah, she gets ripped right in half, and then the cupcake rips the dude's head off. So, I mean,
Where was the cupcake, by the way? I was so angry.
He wasn't.
I was like, cupcake, and it didn't happen.
You see him, but he doesn't do anything. You see him for a second. Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Disappointing.
Yeah, but overall, I'm still giving this a skip. It's still not made for me. It's not made for you. But if you are a parent who is getting dragged to a movie with your kids, take them to see Zootopia first off. And then if they still have time and they want to see something, this is not that bad. It really honestly isn't. Out of all the choices you have out there, if they're dragging you to something, you could do worse. But if you have a choice to go, say no.
All right. So I'm back in the cross-examination chair. Okay. Let me ask you this. Divorcing yourself from your experience with the game, you still think the movie's a mess? Like, even if you didn't have that nostalgia for the game,
it's still not a good movie. But it's
still not a good movie.
It's entertaining enough. You and I are senior citizens of horror. Like, we're way beyond this kind of stuff. So, I mean, this is like getting on the kiddie ride instead of riding the raging roller coaster.
The actual, yeah.
So this is
totally.
It's not for me, but I can sit on it with my kids and go, "Yay, I'm on the spinny cups," and I can have fun with my kids. But I'm not getting on the spinny cups by myself. Yeah, it's okay to sit through. I've sat through way worse, but it's written like a mess. Every piece of dialogue is so worse in this. He needs to not write screenplays. I'm sorry, but his involvement, you could tell he writes video games, and he does not write film or
No.
screenplays or TV. The first film is better written as far as dialogue goes, but is structured and kind of wanting to be slow boil. This one is not as much of a slow boil. It gets right to it. And that intro scene was really fucking cool. I will give it that the intro death scene is really awesome. You go into the 80s and it's a lot of fun. But after that, it does go right to boring, and you waste Hutcherson, who does nothing, which we talked about. He's non-playable character. What a waste of an actor, and that does nothing for his resume. And as much as we like him, that actually is harmful for him to be in this movie. So that was not a good choice.
I didn't think Lael was very strong either, and for the life of me, I was like, okay, I loved her in You. Why is she not, making bank for me with her performance here? And I just think she's averagely bland.
She has a blank face that shows
it's
no
Dakota
emotion.
Johnson syndrome.
Yeah, but even she's kind of better. She shows emotion in her voice, at least. She can at
everybody
least
check out
show it in her voice. Whereas
in her voice,
everything is like this. The woman does not show any emotion. You don't know to feel anything. Any chemistry they had in the first film is gone in this.
Because of Josh's shitty haircut in this. When he showed up with that bowl cut comb forward, I was like, oh my God.
It made his cheeks look chubbier than mine. I'm like, bro, what the heck? That haircut does not help your face.
That haircut was awful. Anyway, all right. I think we need to go to spoiler territory.
We're going to go to spoilers.
This
is a skip for both of us.
Yeah.
Soft skip for me. It's not a hard
huge skip for me.
Huge for you, soft skip for me.
As the Wild Dream boys would say, this is a fat ass skip, a fat ass Josh Hutcherson, Kentucky ass skip. All right. So if you have not seen Five Nights at Freddy's, we are going to spoil it faster than you can say The Marionette in 3, 2, 1. So they introduce this character of the Marionette. So it opens up with the very first original Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, okay, in 1982. So when it first opens, I'm like, okay, oh, this is so cute. Look at it. And there's like a little mode and look at this thing or whatever. Jurassic Park reference 1. It's actually like a theme park. And there's a little girl that's waiting there. She's waiting for the show. She's introverted. A little blonde girl comes up and is like, why don't you enjoy the party or whatever?
As soon as she came up, I was like, I know who she is.
Exactly. And then it's weird. Like the dialogue is so terrible and yet it wants to be deep. So like the girl tells her, I know you think this marionette is like your spirit animal, your spirit
your
dark
spirit
goth
mother,
animal.
I think she said.
Or something. Is that what she said? Something.
Yeah,
your
she thinks it's her
other?
mother figure, basically, because she's raised by her dad.
Something, but then this girl's all goth. She's got like the black hair. She looks like fucking Winona Ryder from the first Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? And then, obviously shenanigans happen. A kid gets taken, and she's like, help me, like the Blob, like the parents aren't listening to the kids or whatever. And then this kid gets taken by the marionette, which is this new creature that they introduce, who, by the way, looks like the Billy puppet from Saw. So the first time I saw the face of the marionette, I was like, oh, now they're ripping off Saw. This is ridiculous. And so that's where the trauma is set up. Like she was the friend of, what was her name? I forget her name now. Whatever. Elizabeth Lael. She was the friend of her,
character, yes.
hers. And then this was like one of the first children that went missing, and it was her best friend.
And this was her trauma, which she should have mentioned in the first fucking movie.
Exactly.
When Josh was going through the same fucking trauma, instead of trauma bonding, she just ignores that hers ever existed. And now it comes
Exactly.
up.
And now it comes up. And then the worst part of it is, and this is why I feel like this is just a retread of the screenplay of the first film, is when Josh Hutcherson discovers that not only is the main demon, the big baddie, somebody she knew, but she has a brother who was involved in all of this. And so, as I had said in the spoiler-free thoughts, I was like, they trot in these characters and then they just go, oh, here's why he's important. And they give you like 2 lines. So the creepy guy that shows up that lets the paranormal spooky people, Tio Briones and McKenna Grace go into the original one, and then they get killed. She gets possessed by the marionette. And then it's the whole thing of trying to get back at the parents. So it's literally not the dream aspect of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's now the parents' vengeance stuff, like the sins of the father, you know? It's so stupid. I was like, oh my God, is this what we're watching? And then to make matters worse, there's a music box that puts her to sleep. And so then he visits the father. He visits the father who says, oh, here's your music box when you see her, blah, blah, blah. And then he forgets it in the car when they go in. It's written very, very badly. And then we find out that Charlotte, this is the marionette ghost that is possessing the marionette and trying to get back at the parents. We find out that I guess she has engineering skills because she has rebuilt the original characters or whatever.
So those were the looks from the more metallic robot-y. That was the look from the original. After
the original pizzeria.
Yeah, so then they went more soft and added felt because of the deaths, right? What you saw, the other ones were ones that were all metal with only some fur and had mainly metal parts. Those were like just used for spare parts to kind of fix the old ones. So that's what it was. The engineer again comes down to Matt Lillard's character. He's
Matt Lillard's character.
All of these.
Yeah.
And what my kid said that Eddie hated what they did to the marionette. They changed the marionette character from being an actual just animatronic to something that's like lifted by marionette strings and has to like possess a human. In it, basically, when the kid dies, they, just like the other ones, the marionette encapsulates and becomes, the kid gets
becomes them
in it. Instead of this one, it dies on her and the spirit infects her. And then they start infecting other human beings, which is not part of the original games. And that was the new thing he wanted to do. He said, I added something new that you two are going to love. That's not quite from the games, but it's also really in tune. And everybody who loved the games are like, fuck you, this sucks, Scott, you suck. And a lot of the old fans hate him, so that's why.
But we've seen this possession shit before.
It's stupid.
And so,
it was so dumb.
So then it looked all like Ringu, like it's crawling on the ceiling and
it jumps out like a raptor.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then so the setup for the sequel is, you know, Lillard's sort of lurking around in the shadows in this film. He shows up in dreams and he's like, oh, you're still my daughter. You're still one of us. And then the brother shows up who is intent on, let me ask you this. What is the brother intent on doing? Having them come to life and possess everybody and take over the town? Like, what's the end game?
He takes over the franchise, and his future is to reignite the Freddy Fazbear, because again, it's his father's thing, and so he tries to do
kids?
to continue killing kids with his newly possessed sister and his dad's ghost, who is now going back into.
And see, that's what I think is so kind of creepy and gross. And now I'm not surprised it's coming from a fundamentally Christian Republican writer, is the fact that the underpinning of the murder of these children and the ghosts inside the robots, it's not something I'd want to expose a 15-year-old to. Like, it's creepy and it's gross. And the villains want to murder more children just for the sake of murdering children. Like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Turn them into robots because, again, Matthew Lillard's character wants to combine the technology with the human soul, and that's what he is trying to do. But they don't talk about that much in the movies. That's more of a game thing. So here's the Jurassic Park ripoff. We've got the original restaurant, which is kind of like a theme park. She's driving away. They're on top of it. It feels very much like the T-Rex driving away and attacking like the cars. And then he's at the computer and it's clearly old technology. So I was waiting for him to be like, it's a Unix. I know this system, or what, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then at the end when they're in the house, you know, they're like, the three of them are like backing up, and then something comes out a window, and then they turn around and there's another person or whatever. And I'm just, it was like a giant hand, and then it takes them like King Kong. But I'm just like, that's the end scene of Jurassic Park, where they're all like, the raptors are surrounding them. It's terrible. It's terrible. And they were even teeing up
that the cuddlier robots were going to fight the other robots, and instead all we get is head ripping, and that's it. I would have loved to have seen some kind of mega battle.
Yeah,
between
robot
them.
on robot, like punching the shit
Yeah.
out of each other. Instead, they just come in and just tear each other apart really quickly.
So, like, Cawthorne's not even smart enough to you know what? That's something new that we should have seen, was them fighting each other. Also, I don't buy this whole Hutcherson holds up that big fucking mask and they're like, scan animatronic.
Yeah, it's
I was
just
like,
a game thing.
bullshit.
It's just a
So
game
how come
thing.
how come it didn't fool Foxy? But it fooled the other ones. So are
Because
the other ones
Foxy-
stupid?
As they explained, was not the same as the others. They couldn't his whatever CPU had been fudged up, so that's why he was getting replaced. I don't know. It's a game thing again. Stupid. It's a game.
Hated
thing.
it.
Yeah, they tried to make this for fans of the game, but again, they kind of alienated the true fans by changing the marionette, which I know pissed off a lot of my kids who grew up with it. Hated that change, and it doesn't really add to the film. It makes it so that there's more jump scares,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Also, there's no cupcake, and somehow the creepy balloons statue that kept popping up in Hutcherson's locker room and then in the utility room in the first movie, he suddenly became bigger because he's the thing that comes out of the moat. I was hoping there was going to be all those little tiny marionettes creatures running around or whatever, but yeah, none of this makes sense, and no cupcakes. I was fucking pissed off.
And they quickly show like two of the monsters or robots that are more in the game, the kid-faced one and the big woman one, which they show for 1 second. But
yes, the big woman one. That's what somebody told me. They were like, "Oh, they're teeing up the appearance of the big woman." I'm like, "Who the fuck is the big woman?" I must have missed it because I was so fucking bored.
Yeah.
And
again, it
we
shows
should-
the more robotic, slick look that the originals went for, and it's
Yeah.
stupid.
We should probably talk about the mid-credit sequence and then the recording that you hear at the end. First of all, it does end with a horrific, ear splintering, awful song. Like the song that ends the first movie and the song that ends this movie, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me.
They're from the game. The first one I actually like, and I make fun of all the time. Five Nights at Freddy's. But this one was bad too. But my kid knew it. My 8-year-old was like, I love that song. And he's just like,
I wanted to
and he's
stick
all
a nail file.
6, 7, and doing this while the song's playing. All the kids.
I wanted to
loved
stick a drink straw into my ears. It was awful. So the mid-credit sequence, folks, they are going to tear down the Five Nights at Freddy's that was in the first film, not the original one. And these boys are ransacking it, trying to take stuff because I think they have a podcast or something about it. I don't know. And so what they find is Afton in the yellow bunny sinister
Snap Trap or
suit or
whatever
whatever.
his name is.
Yeah. And so, because they teased it, they're like, no one can find Afton's body or whatever.
It stinks.
So
yeah, because there's a rotten body in there.
Hello. So these guys go in and then they find that yellow bunny, which they're going to take out. Obviously, he's going to come back for the sequel. And then
There's a little line that reminds you. Remember the little line of the boy who was kidnapped in the first movie comes back and goes, I'm going to heaven now. We can't hold him back anymore. Bye.
Yes,
and
that's
then
right.
disappears to heaven. And that tells you that William Afton's ghost spirit's going to come and.
Yeah. So
We're getting
the ghost
now it's
so the
more
ghosts the ghosts that were in the cuddly versions of the characters have decided at the end of the film, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna move on now. And I'm like, now you're gonna move on? Like, fuck off. But yeah, so they leave and they're like, we can't hold them back. And so then the recording at the end of this is Skeet Ulrich shows up. He's the father of Charlotte, and he's like, Mike, I just wanted to tell you, I was Afton's business partner. Why wouldn't you tell him that when he was at your fucking house? Like, seriously? So then the recording at the end is, I was his business partner, and he was up to these nefarious things, and I need to warn you. And then presumably the marionette shows up and kills him on audio or whatever. Boo! Hard skip for me. Still fat ass skip.
It's slightly better than the first, still skip.
Ugh. Hutcherson, get a better agent, please, God.
Yeah, he needs to get a better team. Yeah,
I Love L.A. is a is in the right direction, but not this. All right, so we got one more episode, and then we're going on break. What do we have next week if we both can catch this?
So Dust Bunny is the plan next week with Dave Gray from Raiders of the Podcast. We've been wanting to get him on.
Dust Bunny, I've been reading about this in the trades primarily because the log line is very catchy and wonderful. And then it's directed by Brian Fuller, the super producer, Star Trek, Hannibal, American Gods, was supposed to do a reboot of Friday the 13th until Peacock unceremoniously fired him from the project. I love Brian Fuller despite his troubled production history. But yeah, that's going to be us next week. If
Looks
you
like
love
an
us,
adult fairy tale, so that looks fun.
Yeah, we love it.
Violent adult fairy tales.
Yes. Much better than this fucking PG-13 Five Nights at Freddy's bullshit. Okay, so if you love us, you will certainly love our Podfathers, The Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema, and Not a Bomb. Actually, I will be seeing The Whole Bloody Affair with Troy from Not a Bomb, actually. Night of the Living Podcast, Wild Dream Podcast, Death by DVD, Raiders of the Podcast. Next week, we're having Dave on, as Mike had said, Backlook Cinema Podcast, our YouTube brothers, The Two Johns, and now for something a little bit different, Caliber 9 from Outer Space. Rob, I did get that email. We are set to guest on Caliber 9 from Outer Space. So if you'd love to try a new podcast, check out our guest spot on Caliber 9 from Outer Space. More on that in the future. Feminine Critique, Talk Without Rhythm with Goro. And then Mike, parting thoughts other than skip this damn movie.
My parting thoughts are, we should be scared with the big purchase of Warner Brothers and from Netflix. We got to get to the theaters. We got to keep theaters alive. We got to show Netflix that we are going to be going to the theater to see these films. At least leave Warner Brothers as your theatrical arm. Do not take all of those wonderful characters away from us in the theaters, please. So keep going to theaters as much as you can, folks.
So yes, please support exhibition. Again, remember, we all love scratch-offs, right? Think of going to the movies, even though it's expensive. Think of going to the movies as a scratch-off. You might like it and get $1 million, or you might hate it and just try the next scratch-on. But if you don't use it, we will lose it. I am not quite here with the paranoia over the WB Netflix merger. I think we have to take a wait and see. But I'm just going to say, Zaslav, we all knew this was your end game, and I hate you. Anyway.
We hate him.
As always, folks, be kind, be open, be vulnerable. That's where the art is. I'm sure I switched them up again because, my brain, whatever. It is what it is. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Don't forget, subscribe, spread the word about us.
Peace.
52, 52, 52. That's the answer to life. Or is it 42? No. Anyway, we want to try to reach 200.
My kids would say 6, 7.
6, 7. I don't understand the 6, 7 thing.
I don't know.
Anyway.